Hello everybody, well, welcome. Thanks for joining me here, 23rd of August 2019. What am I doing? You all know what these are. These are your typical cut-off needle tools. And they all are basically, in my opinion anyway, they don't work that well, partly because the needle is too thick. As we spoke about this the other day in a recent video. These are very sort of typical generic ones that you typically see. This is a little bit more of a fancy one with a wooden handle. Dirty, great thick needle. Absolutely useless for cutting the top of a pot off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. These are some that I've just made. Here I'm going to show you how I make them. So you can make some yourself. If you don't want to make them yourself, you can go to my website, and I have some there for sale. So without further ado, how do we go about it? So basically I go and buy some 3/8 dowel like this. This is 3/8 of an inch, and if you can, have a look at the end grain here on the end of the dowel, and if you can see some throwing rings, if they're better, if they're not too tight, the throwing rings here on the end of the dowel, okay, because it's more difficult to insert the needle. Alright, so you're going to take some of that. You're then going to, I have these measured to about 3 3/8. Doesn't matter, it's not critical. 3.5 is fine. These are a smidgen under 3.5. Okay, so cut yourself a bunch of these like that. You can use one of these guys for that, just to quickly cut them. Alright, and then I'm going to have to put my little fan on here. So I have my bench grinder here. Let's bring the camera in. This is a little bit of a hands-on type video, but it's just showing you, for those of you who are more practical and like to make things, that how I go about this. This is not the only way of doing it, this is just how I do it. Okay, so I'm going to take one of these dowels. There's going to be a bit of a noise, don't worry about it. So on one end I just round it off nicely. The other end, see if I can do this one-handed. So this end here I'm going to put here and rotate it on the side of the wheel here. Just round him off nicely. I have a little fan blowing here to blow the dust away, okay? Away from me. In case there's anybody out there who's wondering. Alright, so there I've got it rounded on the back end, and I've got a sort of nice rounded form on the front there. Let's just stick this back on here a sec. Just pull that in a touch. Right, so then what I do is on the corner of the wheel here, I can't really show you this up close. I put four little grooves, you see, because that's where I'm actually going to be holding it with my fingers. So that's where I want to have the grippiness, just there on the front end of the tool. Alright. Alright, so far so good. So I went up my local shop and I bought some of these. You may laugh. These are kind of longish quilting pins. Alright. So what I do with them, this is what I do. I take one of these, okay, and the plastic bit on the end here, I cut him off. Let me just pull back the camera because it might be out of focus. So this, the plastic bit on the end, the bobble there, I just cut that off. Okay, I then turn it around, and the end where I cut it off, I sharpen that end. I'm just sharpening the end of it back to a point where I cut it off. Now what I need to do is, the end that I ground off just then is the end that's going to be inserted into this wooden handle. So what I do is, it's going to be a bit difficult to show you this, but I hold with the pointed nose pliers like that, and I establish where is the central point in the end of the dowel there, to try and get them as close to the center as I can. Something like that. Alright, now what I'm going to do is with the holding him like that there, not way up here. You can't push the needle in from up there. You've got to push him down here, right near the base. Okay, and I push him in at a little bit at a time, using my finger here to assist in pulling the end of the pliers down. And there he is. Now you may find he's not exactly straight, so you can just quickly and easily just straighten him out, you see, if he's not quite. That's alright, there he is. Okay, next, la la la. I've got a little bit of sponge here, bit of sponge. I've got a bit of sandpaper here too. What I'm going to do now is just sandpaper him, you know, just so he's nice. You will see these on my website. Okay, I'm going to take some of this boiled linseed oil on this bit of sponge. So, now I'm going to take that and rub it into the wooden handle. I've got a couple more here that are waiting for oil. Yeah, have a go at making them. You'll find, you know, the first one that you make, you might make a bit of a hash of it, but don't be daunted. Just have another go. Have a go. You'll get better at it. As always, practice, 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 practice. Practice makes perfect. Yeah, I always like the smell of linseed oil. It reminds me when I was at school we used to play cricket, and the cricket bats used to be oiled with linseed oil. I always remember the smell and thinking, wow, what a lovely smell, I love that smell. And now I've got it here. Alright, so there they are. There's four little new needle tools. Alright, there they go, that's what they look like. What I'm going to do now is have a sip of tea. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my hands. I just like to wash my hands after using linseed oil because in case I get any on my hands, just because it's got additives and stuff in it, and I could put on gloves, but there's such a pig to put on. I just end up just washing my hands well. So that's it, folks. How to make your own needle tool at home. You'll find that these needle tools, they do cut off very nicely, and that's what we want, isn't it? Good tools that are well designed, that do the job. And I think you'll find that these, you could have a go at making them, or if you didn't fancy making them, you can go to my website and you can get one. In an upcoming video, I'm just going to have a video dedicated to how to use a needle tool and how to cut off. Go through some of the details for you and some of my recommendations. Okay, folks, thanks a lot for joining us. I am just about to pick up my 5 Leach treadle wheels that are now complete. My carpenter's made them, but I'm having a lot of inquiry and a lot of interest in still more. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make another batch of another 5, and we've already got a couple of people for that. So if you are somebody who's interested out there in a Leach treadle wheel, you know what I'm talking about. I don't suppose I really need to show you, but I will. This is actually not exactly what they look like. This was the rough prototype one that he made out of rough wood he had in his shop at the time. But they're really nice. They're maple, cherry, and with a walnut capping. This does not have a walnut capping. It just has a bit of foam I put on here. But basically, this is the wheel. Highly recommend them. You can have it with the treadle bar on the left side like this, or you can have it designed and made so the treadle bar here, you'd be operating it with your right leg if you were throwing in the oriental way, in a clockwise direction. Here in America, most people, and in England too, we throw anti-clockwise. And in Japan and the Orient, they throw clockwise, going around the other way. So you ideally you want to have the treadle bar, therefore mirror image opposite. You want to have it on that side. Okay, so if you're interested in one of those wheels, go to my website. They're a kit. You put it together yourself at home. It takes a couple of hours with all instructions. It's not that difficult. So give that some thought if that grabs you. Other than that, what is there to say but keep practicing. I will see you soon. Take care, folks. God bless. Bye bye.